Once upon a time, carrying a fake handbag was embarrassing. Today, flaunting a dupe on TikTok can earn you more clout than the real thing. That shift from shame to status is what we are talking about today. This is the story of dupe culture. Why buying cheaper lookalikes no longer feels tacky but savvy. Hi, I'm Akanksha, and this is The Storyteller's Lens, where we explore the psychology that drives marketing, branding, and consumer behavior. So, today's topic is one that touches fashion, beauty, luxury, and even tech, the rise of dupe culture. Why are millions of people not only buying dupes but proudly showing them off online? We'll unpack the psychology, the cultural drivers, the case studies, and most importantly, the lessons brands, both mass and luxury, need to learn. So, what do we mean by dupe culture? In simpler terms, it's when consumers embrace cheaper lookalikes of premium brands, not in secret but openly. The word dupe itself has been reframed. It used to mean knockoff or fake, something to be ashamed of. Now, a dupe is a life hack, a clever find, proof that you are smart with money. On TikTok, there are billions of views under the hashtag dupe. The message is clear. In 2025, buying a dupe is not a compromise, it's a flex. So, why does this resonate so deeply with consumers? First, there is the smart shopping identity. Finding a dupe is not just about the product, it's about the story you tell yourself. Hey, I outsmarted the system. That sense of cleverness has its own value. Second, loss aversion. We know from behavioral economics that consumers fear overpaying more than they fear missing authenticity. $100 lipstick feels like a loss if a $10 dupe performs the same. Third, social proof. TikTok creators do not hide their dupes, they flaunt them. And seeing thousands of peers do the same removes stigma and builds tribal validation. Fourth, we have seen a status signaling reversal. Once upon a time, luxury was the only marker of status. Today, being the person who finds the dupe is its own form of cultural capital. And finally, there is moral licensing. Consumers justify their purchases with narratives like luxury brands charge unfair markups. I'll save splurges for special moments. All of this combines into a culture where dupes feel resourceful, not cheap. This is not a niche phenomena. The numbers are big. The hashtag dupe on TikTok has racked up more than 6 billion views. According to CoreSite research, 40% of US shoppers bought a dupe in the past year, especially in beauty and fashion. In beauty, mass market brands that lean into dupes are outperforming prestige players. Take Elf Cosmetics. Their sales grew nearly 48% year on year in 2022, driven heavily by dupe virality on TikTok. Their product, Halo Glow, became known as the affordable twin of Charlotte Tilbury's flawless filter and sold out again and again. And in luxury, McKinsey reports that Gen Z are far more comfortable mixing luxury with dupes and even flaunting those dupes online. That's a profound generational shift. So let's bring this to life with some case studies. So the number one is Elf Cosmetics. They leaned into dupe culture, not away from it. When their Halo Glow went viral as the Charlotte Tilbury dupe, they did not hide it, they embraced it. Shein has built an empire on affordable dupes. TikTok house often show $500 worth of Shein items bought for the cost of a single Prada bag. Ethical concerns? Many consumers dismiss them, rationalizing value over morality. Next is Amazon's dupe economy. Shoppers actively type the word dupe into Amazon's search. Influencers showcase dupes for Dyson hair tools, Lululemon leggings, or Bottega handbags. It's become a shopping category in itself. Next is Lululemon. Instead of ignoring dupes, Lululemon reframed the conversation. Their CEO said, "We are not afraid of dupes. Quality wins long term." They even hosted dupe swap events, inviting customers to trade knockoffs for real Align leggings. It was a brilliant way to pull attention back to authenticity. So, why is dupe culture exploding now? First, economic pressure. With inflation and rising living costs, luxury splurges are harder to justify. Second, social media amplification. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram celebrate discovery. It's not about owning the bag, it's about showing your followers the clever hack you found. There is a shift in status symbols. For Gen Z, being financially literate and savvy is just as much a flex as being rich. Fourth, the decline in stigma. A knockoff used to mean fake. Now a dupe means accessible style. And fifth, fast fashion supply chains. Brands like Shein, Zara, and Amazon can replicate trends in weeks. So dupes arrives almost in real time that accelerate the culture. So how should brands respond? For mass market and dupe friendly brands, lean in. Encourage side by side comparisons in user generated content. Embrace the role of being the smart democratic alternative. For luxury brands, reframe. Highlight craftsmanship, heritage, and exclusivity that dupes can't replicate. Lululemon's dupe swap is a perfect example. For retailers and content creators, play into dupe discourse. Curate splurge versus save pairings. Encourage content challenges like, "Is it worth the splurge?" And for segmentation, recognize that Gen Z are comfortable flaunting dupes, while affluent millennials may still prioritize originals. Some brands can serve both with a premium line and an accessible diffusible line. So, number one is intellectual property and ethics. Dupes blur the line with counterfeits, raising legal and moral questions. Number two is quality and trust. If a dupe underdelivers, the backlash can be severe. So here's the takeaway. Dupe culture is not about fakes, it's about reframing consumption as cleverness. Consumers feel smart, resourceful, and socially validated when they can get the same thing for less. For mass brands, the strategy is to embrace and amplify dupe culture. Luxury brands, the strategy is to double down on authenticity, heritage, and exclusivity. The status symbol has shifted. In 2025, showing off your savvy can matter more than showing off your spending power. Hi, I'm Akanksha and this is The Storyteller's Lens. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology behind consumer behavior and branding. And tell me in the comments, have you ever bought a dupe you were proud of, or do you stick to originals? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.